Classic sees Jan Gionotti, the 4th seed from Western Australia, taking on the defending champion and the 5th seed, Joe Allen Day. Our commentators, Jeanette Baker-Flynn.
Hello.
And of course, it wouldn't be the same without him, Steve Mackey.
Thanks, Alan. Well, Joe Allen Day has been asked to start the match, and she's going to do that on lane 15 at Kedron Bowling Centre here in Brisbane. And that's a pretty nice opening.
We're about to have our first look at Jan Gionotti. She's from Morley in Western Australia. She's a part-time coach over there. The highest score, 288, and she won the 1987 City Masters. Loves playing cards and dice games. We'll see how she handles this game here today.
Well, this should be a very good match, I think, Jeanette. They're pretty evenly matched on paper, at least, and in international experience, well, there's not that much between them in that either.
Well, Joe Allen has definitely got the edge as far as international exposure is concerned, but Jan, being isolated a little bit over in Perth, finds that she's toughened up her own mental game by playing against the men.
And she's done very well against the men. In fact, I bowled against her twice. She's hit me with a 235 and a 226. I can't get a look in against her. Yes, it is a bit of a problem living so far away from the eastern states. Most of the tournaments are held here, but there are two very big events in Perth, the Perth 10 Pin Cup in June each year and the WA Open in December. But apart from that, Jan really does need to hop on a few planes and try them out over in the east.
No problems with that spare for Jan. She uses most of the approach as well as a good swing.
Joe Allen Day, the defending champion from Mermaid Waters on the Gold Coast, is a teller with the Queensland Teachers Credit Union. Highest score of 279, the defending champion, and she ran second in the South Pacific also last year.
Well, we'll have another look at that shot there, because that was a beautiful ball, Jeanette. That was one of the best balls we've seen.
Well, with the result being a 7-pin, it's easy to say that it was too good a shot. But Joe Allen will be quite happy to get a spare, go back, look at the next frame and just continue on. She knows that she has to attack at every frame from here on in.
She certainly attacked the first two shots, two beautiful hits. Unfortunately for her, not resulting in a double, but it's all square after the first frame, 20 pins apiece.
Showing the spare. Quite an easy one for a right-hand bowler going for the left-hand side. Must admit the lanes to date have been so nice and even that when it comes to shooting spares, you can confidently get up and go for them as you normally would.
Well, she got that one out well on the lane. Good pin action again. This is going to be a good match, I feel. They're certainly attacking, aren't they?
They tell me they've got a nickname for Jan over there with the form she's in Western Australia at the moment. What do they call her? A fire brand or something?
Fire, yeah, she's firing on all cylinders, that's for sure. And after having made her first representative team earlier this year against the Americans in the Coca-Cola International Challenge Cup, well, she's the one that Joe Allen Day will have to beat to go any further up the ladder.
Of course, Jan coming from a complete family of bowlers. There's her husband Bruno as well as all 4 kids bowl, so it's a matter of be a member of the Gionotti family and start bowling.
That's for sure and certain. Well, a very improved bowler is Jan Gionotti. She's lost a bit of weight of late.
A little bit light that time, leaving the 2-5. It's quite easy to get up and bowl a ball, go a little bit high, and then the next one you just naturally want to give it a little bit more room and perhaps overcorrect, as Jan did on that shot. But she's a very assertive bowler. Strong push away, good high backswing, gets the ball down early and just rolls it straight through.
Well, this is a difficult spare to go for. She's got the pin numbers 2 and 5, and she needs to place it right in the centre of those two.
No spare there for Jan Gionotti, and you're watching the 1987 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. And at the end of the 3rd frame, it's Joe Allen Day, the defending champion, from Mermaid Waters on the Gold Coast, leading Jan Gionotti from Western Australia by 1. And Jo Ellen Day leads by 1. Jan Gionotti still in this match.
Going a little bit high that time, leaving the 2 pins in the left-hand corner.
Janet, having a look at the apparatus on Jan's right wrist. Looks like something out of Demetrius and the Gladiators.
Well, that particular brand of one is called a Gladiator.
Oh, I was right.
And you'll find a lot of the women in bowling will tend to use a wrist support of some kind because of the fact that the wrist is the only part of the body that we can't build up or tone up. So we utilise the apparatus to strengthen our wrists.
Well, a spare for Jan Gionotti, but of course she had the open frame in the third there, and the lead is probably about 10 or 12 pins now, and Jo Ellen Day has had 3 very purposeful shots, a strike and 2 spares, both of them 7-pin leaves. See if she can hit the pocket again. Good extension.
Once again, just the 10-pin, that one and only pin in the right-hand corner. The ball hitting solid into the pocket, the 6-pin just going around it, not quite coming back and knocking it down.
Yes, a cruel twist of fate, that 10-pin then. That was a very good shot, and she's had 4 beauties, but only 1 strike.
Best way to put pressure on the opponent, isn't it?
Well, that's right. Just keep on hitting the pocket all day long, and usually in a one-game match, honesty will prevail. But she looks at ease with herself, Jo Ellen Day, and even though she's only 22, she's bowled for Australia so many times overseas. The countless. She's been in the youth FIQ team 4 years. She's been in the adult FIQ team on 2 occasions, including earlier this year in Helsinki. She's bowled in the state team for Queensland on 5 occasions. And that's another pocket hit.
She's looking
sharp.
solid, absolutely solid.
You wouldn't like to be playing her for a quid, Alan?
No, I'd be taking very little in the wallet.
Well, that's, of course, pressure when you bet $5 and you've only got $1 in your pocket. That's a good way to learn how to play the game under the whip. That's not going to come back.
Once again, light on that lane. I'm just wondering whether there is just a fraction of difference between the 2 lanes, but Jan seems to be so concerned about hitting high on the left-hand lane that she doesn't seem to be giving the ball any sort of lift with the fingers on the right-hand lane. She just seems to be getting it off the hand and into the lane. We'll have a look at this shot and see if it shows us anything.
Seemed to get a little bit early, do you think?
Possibly she came a little bit higher in the backswing and just let the ball just float off the hand instead of having the fingers set and rolling. That's the shot that she needs to bowl, but unfortunately, she's overcorrected on that spare, perhaps.
Well, that was a very good spare shot, but as we see here, she just chops that front pin off. And that's 2 open frames now, both times on her visit to lane 16. Nemesis, perhaps, for her, 74 in the 5th frame. She could be as many as 30-odd pins behind. Not too pleasant.
Again going high on that left-hand side lane, leaving this time just a single 3-pin count.
I noticed earlier this year in the Coca-Cola International Challenge Cup here, when it was played at Mount Gravatt, Jan got into the step-ladder final that you and Donna Adamek bowled, and she was pulling the ball quite high in the backswing there under pressure too. Well, that's a better push. That was everything was good there. That's the sort of shot she needs to produce. If she can get 6 of those on the next 6 visits, well, Jo Ellen Day will have a match on her hands.
Well, the thing that we must remind people is that there's just so much pressure on here and the mind has so much control. First time Jo Ellen's missed the pocket, but at least to her advantage, it's just gone wide to the right, as we see. And normally it would be an easy split. Not the textbook way to convert the spare, but still it's on the board and that's all that counts.
Well, what is on the board, of course, is a 24-pin lead. Let's have a look at that one again. That 2-pin doing the damage to the 8-pin, but only just. Well, Jo Ellen Day. Can she keep on lifting the ball out on this lane? She's hitting it beautifully.
You said it.
That ain't come any better than that one.
Perfect strike. Jan will have to be finding the pocket very, very soon to be able to capitalise on this. And there's the first one.
You're watching the 1987 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. And at the end of the 7th frame, it's Jo Ellen Day, the defending champion from the Gold Coast, leading Jan Gionotti from Western Australia by 24.
On top of the 8th.
Desperately needs to hit the pocket a little bit more consistently than what she is. She's having trouble with this left-hand lane, with going left of the target, left of the target. Consequently, a baby split.
Well, she looked the same there in profile, but she's just trying a little bit too hard. The forearm just a little bit tight, perhaps. And that's not going to be good for her. 122 in the 8th frame. The best she can do is 182, and Jo Ellen Day bowling at, well, a 198 pace at least. That's without a double. And Jo Ellen Day brushing the perspiration from the back of her neck. And no wonder she perspired on that one. Have a look at this nose hit. Cave in.
Thank heavens for small mercies. But the double's there. She'll be looking to making a good shot this time, capitalising on that very lucky strike.
Looking for 3 strikes. Well, there you go. She's just had a nose hit, and then she's gone right in the pocket and left that freezing cold 9-pin. Let's have a look at this.
And there it is. Actually, what's happened there is the ball has actually penetrated the pocket too well. Instead of it supposed to be deflecting off the 5-pin and therefore taking out that 9-pin, it's left it.
What a great shot, boy. She'll be pleased with that ball, even though it's cost her another 10 pins in lead. She's 45 pins ahead, and coming into the 9th frame for Jan Gionotti, not looking too good.
Just what she needed. Needs a few more.
Well, she needs 3 more to be precise, Alan, and that'll be her 10th frame. That was the 9th frame foundation strike. She's got room for a 182. Still room for a win, incidentally. Jo Ellen Day wouldn't want to do anything silly.
Well, Jo Ellen Day in her last match against Jan Proctor finished for 3 and 1.
Will history repeat itself?
Number 2.
Boy, what a good shot that was under pressure. Sly smile there by Jan Gionotti. She knows that was a good shot. She's wondering, I guess, if it's too much, too late, if that's the right thing to say.
A little bit high that time, leaving those 2 pins in the left-hand corner. As we see there, high on the head pin. Pin stayed in the gutter, didn't come out to take those 2 pins away for her.
And under pressure, that certainly is the sign of just too high a backswing, I think. She was at the line and the ball still coming through. with this spare here. She'll finish with a game of 170, a little below her qualifying average of 193. And we have the defending champion who won 5 straight last year to take out the title, winning her second match. Her next opponent will be the Queenslander Alison Wood.
Can't get much closer than that, can you?
We'll have a look at it here.
It wobbled like a drunken sailor.
It certainly did wobble. In fact, those pins 3 pounds 6 ounces for this tournament. And, well, you wonder what makes them stand sometimes.
It's not standing anymore.
No, well, that'll be our second game over 200 in the women's section. Jan Proctor had a 204 a couple of matches ago in beating Sue Rafael. And Jo Ellen Day adding to her 183 victory over Proctor's 180 with a 2-0 something. 206 with a strike.
You nominated it, and there it is. Another win to the defending champion, Jo Ellen Day from the Gold Coast. She defeats Jan Gionotti from Western Australia by 36 pins, 206 to 170.
Fur or fins, feathers, fur or fins. If it walks on legs or flies on wings.
By Coca-Cola this year for the Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic has been increased to $2,000 for first prize, $1,000 for second prize, $725 for third prize, and $500 for fourth prize. As well, the winner will be flown to and from London in comfort and style by Qantas, the spirit of Australia. While in Europe, she'll compete in the 1988 British 10-pin Open. This prestigious European competition has prize money in excess of £50,000. For some lucky competitor, playing in this event and the trip by Qantas is sure to remain the thrill of a lifetime.
And the defending champion, Jo Ellen Day, continues on her winning way with a win over Jan Gionotti. Well, Jan, just not good enough on the day, eh?
No, it's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
Didn't flow easy, but that's the breaks you get.
Bit of tension and pressure with all the lights and cameras.
Yes, I haven't had much experience on TV, but I'll learn.
You've come a long way from Western Australia.
Yes, it's a fair way. Get a little bit tired through travelling, but I've had enough time to get over it, so there's no reason that that made any effect on today's bowling.
Right, well, I'll make your trip home a little bit more pleasant. On behalf of Coca-Cola, there's $400 to take back to WA with you, and a job well done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, the winner, Jo Ellen Day. Well, that was a little bit easier than your first round win.
I felt happier with the way I bowled that game.
Getting in the rhythm?
It's still just one game. Anything can happen in one game, so...
Okay, your next opponent, Alison Wood.
Yeah, I've never played Alison before, so it should be interesting.
Very interesting, particularly if you win.
Yeah.
Okay, the defending champion still going on her winning way, and that's Jo Ellen Day, and she'll be back to play Alison Wood when our next match comes up on the Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic.
Weeknights at 6:30.